something you can't fix.
If you can't fix what's broken, you'll go insane.
It's Jay and Adam. It's Previewed.
It's Previewed's Fix It with Adam and Jay.
Hey, you peaches! So welcome to Previewed, where friends don't let friends fix pop culture. Hello.
Producer Brian here. Just wanted to clarify that this is Fix It. You've come to the right place. This is not Previewed. This is Fix It. And if you're watching this not knowing it was Fix It, welcome.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Jay, and you're our listener.
Hey there, listeners.
Ho there, listeners.
Sneak, listeners.
That's right, everybody. Sneak. That's right. We're all playing a game of hide and sneak. It's our national game. You'll get there eventually.
Jerk McGurk.
Yes, that's right. Our celebrity judge for hide and sneak is Jerk McGurk. Is that what you just said?
Have you never heard of old Jerk McGurk?
If you've never heard of Jerk McGurk, you will soon. His juggling show that he's going to do to open up the ceremonies for our hide and seek game here in Visteria is going to be incredible. Wow, you really made me work for this one.
I see the word in my head on the panel screen. Was it S-N?
It's Snick.
It's Snick.
Yeah.
Like Snick.
Yeah.
Like Saturday Night Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's how you know you've been stabbed, because you're seeing Are You Afraid of the Dark intro.
Yeah.
That's right.
Submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society. There we go. Took me a second.
3 blades. Welcome to our podcast, Fix It. Hi, everybody. I'm Jay. That's Adam. You may know us from the wildly popular YouTube reaction channel Previewed, or you may know us from being those dudes from that thing, or maybe you don't, and shame on you.
Shame.
Yeah. How dare you?
Shame.
But this is our podcast, Fix It, where every week Adam and I take a piece of pop culture that maybe missed the mark, maybe didn't quite get there, maybe just didn't totally explain its mutants, and we fix it. And this week we are going to be fixing 2009's X-Men franchise film, Wolverine Origins.
X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Sure.
Was that really 09?
It was 09.
Holy crap.
Yeah. X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Wow.
A naming convention that it seemed like it was going to build to something, but then didn't.
Yeah, they were like, oh, we'll just do origins for all sorts of characters. Nope. This movie was trash fire, and we should never do this again. Yes,
this movie made quite an impact in a very stinky way. What a sentence. And so they did not make any more of them. It also set up origins for other X-Men characters in a way that was extraordinarily frustrating.
Oh, just a little.
So it was like, well, we can't do origins for like a couple of the other X-Men because you kind of already... But before we end up fixing Wolverine, not the Wolverine, that's actually a great movie.
That's a good movie, yeah.
Yeah. And I actually liked the sequel to this movie in particular, which is technically...
The Wolverine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I guess the other one was Logan, wasn't it?
Yes.
Both of them
that's
are good.
The sequel
I like the
to
Wolverine.
Both,
I like the Wolverine.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's not what we're talking about. No. We've come to our first segment. It is our most popular, most favorite segment. We took a poll. It's Roll for Convo. And in Roll for Convo, Adam and I have 20 topics of conversation on a little spreadsheet in front of us, provided by our amazing producer, Brian, the best producer in the game, also maybe one of the most prolific villains of our age. Time will tell. But he's given us 20 topics of conversation. I'm going to roll a 20-sided die to figure out what the topic of conversation is in our first segment. Here we go. I'm rolling, and that is a 2.
A 2!
The deuce, baby. The deuce.
Well, this ought to be kind of interesting.
Oh, boy.
Do you have any nostalgia for ceilings? High ceilings, industrial ceilings, popcorn ceilings, low removable basement panel tiles. Anything goes in ceiling talk.
Anything goes in ceiling talk. Ceiling talk, Brian. Ceiling talk.
Ceilings.
Are you a popcorn ceiling?
I hate popcorn. I hate them.
Really?
I hate them.
Okay, go off, Queen. Tell me all about it.
It's you're just like we need a texture up here for some reason. So let's just like throw spackle at the wall, then let it just dry. It's insane. Just smooth surfaces.
Yeah, but
it's a ceiling.
Trying to get a smooth surface on a ceiling is like
The
harder-
drywall.
Yeah,
Those panels.
it's easier said than done.
Wood.
That's why popcorn ceilings exist in the first place. It's because it's like it's if you want it done easily, that's how you do it. I have no dog in the popcorn ceiling debate.
Really?
I fundamentally don't understand why people get so upset about them. Like it doesn't like for me because it is a hard stance for a lot of people, the concept of a popcorn ceiling.
Yes.
Well, those have got to go. Popcorn ceilings. Ew, gross. Never. Not even once. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. It doesn't bother me at all.
Awkward, weird shadows on the ceiling. You don't know what's hiding in them.
You know.
Anything could be in there. You don't know.
Adam is terrified of shadows. We're learning here on it.
Well, there could be bugs. It could be anything up in there. You don't know. It also, if you have a balloon, you have a kid with a balloon, that thing's, as soon as the balloon gets released, it's dead.
Yeah,
Immediate
that's a
poppage.
good thing, though. Yeah, but if balloons on the ceiling, they're hard to get down. Pop them. Get them out of here.
Yeah, 10-foot ceiling. Boop, get it on a chair. Boop, get that.
You
Grab
know,
that string.
I'm just not
Grab that
looking
string.
at these ceilings in this apartment. And I would have said that these were popcorn ceilings, and I wouldn't.
I would have never gotten this place if there were popcorn ceilings,
That's
Jay.
not true. That's not true. I think you have a hard stance on it until, your practicality. You would not have gotten this apartment if there was popcorn ceilings.
Heck no, man.
Interesting. Are you a?
Well, here's a question, I guess.
Yeah.
How often do you look at ceilings?
Not very often.
Yeah, I look at ceilings all the time.
Really?
Oh yeah, I love looking up.
Oh. You heard it here first.
I do.
Everybody. Loves looking up. Yeah, that's right. I guess I'm too busy being at the top,
Oh,
I'm looking
down
down
at
all the
everybody?
time, you
Yeah.
know? I think maybe that's the problem,
That's probably
yeah, man.
it.
Maybe you're chasing that crown a little too hard, you know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
Yeah, stop watching me and just mind your stay in your lane, Lashley. Maybe you wouldn't be looking up so
Well, the
much.
peons,
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe I'm up here just chilling. Where I'm at, there ain't no roofs, baby. It's all up.
Roofs?
No roofs, no ceilings.
Roofs?
Yeah, man. Roofs.
Roofs?
It's roofs.
Is
Roofs.
Is it roofs?
I think it's roofs.
Is it roofs with a V?
Look, I am not the person to trust. I've sent you down a lot of rabbit holes. The pendulum debate really made my wife look at me different.
Pendulum.
I'm not gonna keep saying pendulum.
But you know you are saying it wrong now.
Oh yeah, now I'm just saying it to piss people off.
Cool.
Because that's you've met me.
Yes, that's what have burned people's boats.
I still call them Dachshunds. Dachshunds.
I
thought it was Dachshund. For a long
Dachshund?
time
Because there's an X in there?
until I was probably I think 34. I thought it was Dachshund.
Dachshunds. I can't even
Dachshunds,
visualize the word.
Dachshunds. Honestly, if you look at the word, it looks like Dachshunds.
You're just saying it phonetically.
I say things phonetically.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
Yes, I tried
You
to.
should say pendulum.
Pendulum.
No, put that phonetically.
Yeah, I know you're right.
I know.
But it's a soft G from the Germanic language with the DE apparently.
You're a soft G from a Germanic.
I am the softest of
Have
G's,
you thought
Jay.
about that?
I am
Have
a
you thought
soft
about
G.
it? Get faced. Anyways, ceilings.
Like in school, you didn't just like stare up at the ceiling when you're bored in class and you see like the panels and all kind of stuff.
No, I retreat into my own head.
You see like little faces
No.
and stuff in the little holes.
If I'm ever bored, I'm not looking around the room. I'm in my my eyes roll into the back of my head. I'm seeing future murders. Yeah, man.
Okay.
I go full precog whenever I get bored.
Mentally just lay in the bathtub or in the milk tub.
Yeah, man. Oh man, Jay. I think Jay needs to test out of this class. He's bored. How can you tell? Well, he keeps getting to a big tub of milk and talking about future murders. Yeah, no, I don't really look. I don't notice ceilings that often. I'm not that observant. I'm more observant about like the human beings in the room. The architecture is not something I normally pay much attention to.
Do you ever just like lay down on the floor and look at the room from a different perspective?
I suppose, we all sometimes, sometimes my back hurts and I need to.
Sure.
No.
Oh.
Not really. That seems like something I would do though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little whimsy of just like I'm gonna lay under this table for a hot second. Just look at the other side of this table and see different things things I never see. It just might
I'm an adult, Lashley.
spark
I put
something.
those childish things away.
Have you really, Mr. Whimsy over here?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No. I do like the concept, like when you go to a place and they have like the tiled ceilings, where it's like clearly like they have.
Like the panel thing, you can
panels,
push. You can easily
yeah.
push up because it's.
Oh, I think about sneaking around up in the ceiling bits like all the time.
Oh yeah.
I think, but like, also the structures they have up there is not.
Oh, they couldn't
load-bearing.
actually. It couldn't actually hold a normal person.
No,
not
like,
in real
I think
life.
The Office put it best when like a cat got lost up there.
Oh yeah.
And like fell through, and they were like, "That's not realistic." I'm like, "Yeah, it is." You wouldn't be able to sneak up there. Although I would think about it all the time, like, oh, there's a whole world up there where you can get into the next classroom or something, and just like, you know.
Uh huh.
But it would just be a big old jaybird falling through the ceiling.
It would.
Covered in dust. It's so dusty
Dust,
up there.
asbestos.
Oh, there's no
Probably
more
rat poop.
asbestos.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Lead shavings, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. Do you have it like a one thing I do pine for when it comes to a ceiling, and I'm not sure this is necessarily ceiling related.
Okay.
I love it when like a room has like exposed beams, you know?
Mm.
Like a not
Sure.
I'm not talking like a warehouse or something, even though
Yeah.
that has its charms.
Yeah, but
Like a full-on
yeah,
beam.
like the
Oh, yeah.
beamage for the roof.
Oh yeah, when you're
Yeah.
like when you go to someone's house and like they have like their big living room,
Mhm.
but like and like it goes up both stories, you know, and like they have like
Yeah.
maybe like the second floor has a balcony leaning over it, and they have like the big beams. Ooh, delali, I love that.
Jay, I used to finish basements when I was a kid.
Go on,
So, do you know what that means? Finish a basement?
finish a base. That's when a base like you get a bounty on a basement and like
I finish it.
yeah,
Right.
you
sneak into
sneak
the night,
down.
yeah, and then just
Crimson Sky.
Crimson Sky the basement.
Yeah, you're a basement murderer. I get it. And not murdering a basement,
No,
murdering basement.
the base. I murdered the basement,
Yeah, I
not in a
understand.
basement.
Yeah, I was
Just
wondering.
the basement.
Yeah,
has
I
been
was
murdered.
wondering why you had all those offshore accounts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what finishing basement is, Lashy.
Do you?
Yes.
Okay.
When your basement is like the rest of the house.
Sure. Yeah. All the drywall
Do
goes
you
up.
think me an oaf, sir, that I don't know what a finishing a basement is?
Jay, I did a lot of construction when I was a kid. I don't know if
Yeah.
these terms have translated to everybody else. I didn't meet anyone else that did the work I did working for my dad. So.
Yeah, I know what I know what finishing a basement.
Okay,
means.
great. I'm glad we're
Where
on
else
the
am I
same
supposed
page.
to put my pinball machine?
That's true. Okay. So I used to finish a lot of basements with my dad. And so we would, put drywall up and all the walls and on the ceilings and stuff. So I spent a lot of my youth looking up at because it's just the beams up there of the first floor.
Yeah, man.
Because they didn't need to finish basements in the 80s and 90s.
Were you ever responsible for putting popcorn on a ceiling?
No, drywall.
I understand, but dude, no
No.
one specifically requested popcorn.
No.
Like some customer was like, "I'd like popcorn ceilings." And your dad slapped them.
Real hard.
You got to admit though, have you seen them apply popcorn ceiling?
I have not.
It's a spray.
Is it a gun? Yeah, it's
Oh,
like
yeah. So like that probably would
that probably
look.
is
The
is
results
fun.
are not great, but
No.
like but going, yeah, man. It's like reverse power washing. Oh, he back to power wash. There's a power wash down
There
at the
is-
shore
oh,
house.
is there?
And,
There's also a power washing game.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Oh, I've seen it. I've seen it streamed. It's very calming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For me, I don't know if I could stream a game like that.
You get too zoned in.
Be like, this is for me. Why are you guys here? I'm working through something. You know what I mean?
Popcorn ceilings.
Popcorn ceiling.
It's like a high ceiling. You kind of mentioned earlier, like if you have like the living room, but it's like all the way. It's like the.
I
all
think there's
the
a
whole-
charm to it in a home. I think it can be fun if they're like ridiculously tall. Like a living
Like
room
2
that has
stories high.
yeah, like 2 stories. I think that can be really fun. The problem is how the hell do you decorate it?
How do you
know what I
decorate
mean?
it? How do you
the
heat it?
walls go up so
They're so high.
And it's like either you do nothing or you do everything. There's
Mhm.
no middle ground, which is kind of a nightmare.
It's hard to access. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that living room being 2 stories vibe. The rest like yeah, I guess I don't totally pay attention to it. I do like a low ceiling from time to
A
time.
low ceiling.
Yeah, I'm
How
like
low is low though?
how low can you go? I do have like the opposite of claustrophobia sometimes. When it
Yeah,
comes
I
to,
love
like,
tight
living
spaces.
space. Like little tiny spaces.
Yeah.
You know, it's like cool.
Yeah, it's kind of you can kind of get comfortable. You
Yeah.
get like a little nook, little
Yeah.
cocoon.
But like when people are crazy tall and like a lot of places, even if they have reasonable ceilings,
Right.
and like they have like duck through doorways and
Mhm.
stuff, I have to be honest, I don't know how you don't go crazy.
Oh, okay.
It seems like it's like doors. One of the most by my positation, the most like the most thing.
I was
Yep.
going to say the most thing on the planet.
The most
and I was
thing
about
on
to
the
say,
planet?
actually, Jay, it's the second most thing on the planet.
It's the most thing on the
It's
planet.
the second most thing past
We'll
wheels.
always find our way back to doors and wheels, but like the most prevalent. There we go.
Ooh, yeah.
Golly,
There you
the
go.
most
Look at those-
prevalent thing on the planet is an inconvenience to you. What a nightmare.
Yeah.
That's no fun.
You're too big for the world.
You're too big for the world.
Mhm.
That's not. That shouldn't be. So yeah, I am for tall ceilings. So the tall people don't go mad.
And kill us all because they're giants.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. We've got lives at stake.
We technically, sure. I mean, I think we could take the tall people. One, we outnumber them. Two, their joints are very weak. They are. If you get over 6'3",
This took a weird turn.
if you get over 6'3", you got to be like,
just make
careful
sure
of
the
your
letters
joints.
you write are to address to Adam and not
It's
me.
true. You gotta watch out for your joints.
Yeah,
Because it's too big, and the physics behind that your joints have to handle now is a lot.
What about physics has changed? You said physics nowadays.
For people who are 6'3", the physics in their body, just with the actually moving joints and up and down, and the stress on, especially your knees.
Yeah.
When you're that tall.
Are you a tall ceiling guy?
No, I don't like tall ceilings.
Okay.
I think anything more than 12 feet is too big.
Especially if it's just a residence.
Yeah.
It's a bit much. But I think it also kind of depends on the architecture of the house.
Sure.
Because like if you're in a mansion or something, ooh la la,
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, man. But I will say this though, we had really tall ceilings in our last apartment. But the one thing you've got to have, if the ceilings are tall, those doors got to be tall. We had tall doors. I love a tall door.
But you don't even come close to hitting the top of it.
No, but it's just kind of fun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and also you can fit a couch in.
That's also true.
Yeah.
Helps with furniture.
Yeah. If you can have the ability to have doors bigger than a standard door in your home, you should get bigger doors. You'll never be mad.
You'll never be mad.
But yeah, ceilings. In my ranking, they're up there, I guess.
I was a half second behind you. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Brian, this you've really outdone yourself. I'm not sure this question has earned you your paternity leave, but I guess we'll grant it regardless.
We may revoke it. We may revoke it. Don't be surprised if we do.
Yeah, I'm shocked. I'm shocked you have an opinion on popcorn ceilings.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
It's also, have you ever
I don't disagree.
have
It's more I just don't know why people care that much.
Have you ever cut yourself on a popcorn ceiling?
Absolutely. Why? What?
Like reaching for a balloon or
Yeah,
sorts
when
of
you're
stuff.
trying to get there and just murder that basement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta stab it in the ceiling sometimes.
Yeah. Never have I. No.
It's not
They're
great.
sharp?
They can be, yeah.
Huh,
Yeah.
then maybe I am against popcorn ceilings.
It's kind of like scraping your toe at the pool, at the bottom of the pool. It's
Yeah,
like
that's-
I did not expect
That's very
for me to
evocative.
get my
I know
skin to be
exactly-
abrased,
No, I know exactly
Brace-
what you're talking about.
and that's why he reached for something. And go, what the ow? How did I just cut myself on the
it's
ceiling?
like it's like really like the bottom of a pool is like really abrasive sandpaper. I'm like, I'm not hurt, but I'm not thrilled about what just
So
happened.
the layers of my skin is gone, and it looks kind of red because I can see the blood moving back there now. Yeah, it sucks.
I love
Yeah.
going to a pool though. Oh, if you can put a ceiling over a pool. Oh man.
Make it an indoor pool.
Oh, an indoor pool. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Anyways, so that's been ceiling talk. Fascinating.
Crushed it.
Crushing it. Thank you guys for being part of our most favoritist segment,
Mhm.
and thank you for taking the poll yet again. We put it up every week just to double check that it was everyone's favorite, and you took said poll. I'm aware that it is a legal responsibility of being a citizen of Listeria, but it is a law that keeps order, and that's all we're all about here in Listeria. So, X-Men Origins Wolverine. We need to fix this thing.
Yes, we do,
But
Jay.
before we do, we should probably kick it to our wonderful producer, Brian. The man, the myth, the legend, the cretin? You know, who's to say? You know, who's to say? Once the memoir comes out, we'll know.
Brian Plofsky, cretin.
He knows what he did. He knows what he did. No, he's the best producer in the game. He should probably let us know all about X-Men Origins Wolverine when he rolls that beautiful bean fun fact footage.
Thank you, gentlemen. Producer Brian here, and today we're trying to fix X-Men Origins Wolverine. Released in 2009, written by David Benioff and Skip Woods, and directed by Gavin Hood, it stars Hugh Jackman, Liev Schreiber, Danny Huston, Ryan Reynolds, Taylor Kitsch, and of course, Will.i.am. Here are some fun bean facts. This movie cost around $150 million to make and made $373.1 million at the box office. Ryan Reynolds had already been developing his own Deadpool movie, but it fell apart when they focused on Blade Trinity, so he was included here. Other directors interested in this movie were other X-Men directors, as well as Len Weissman and Alexandra Aja. Zack Snyder actually turned down the job because of Watchmen. So more than 1,000 shots of Wolverine has visual effects in this movie. However, one of the major criticisms of the film were how poorly rendered they all are. Now, a full-length work print of the film was leaked before the release with unfinished effects that ended up having 4.5 million downloads. The movie was being reviewed before it was released and finished. The next Origins movie was supposed to be Magneto, but Fox scrapped it and leaned into First Class. And if you care, this movie has a 38% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 2.4 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Anyway, back to you, gentlemen, and please enjoy writing your fix.
Of all the words.
I know. I didn't know I was gonna say it either.
Yeah, that was amazing. Oof.
Brian, you know I love you. You're not a cretin. You better not be. All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Brian.
Good job, Brian.
Great job,
So
Brian.
much information on that movie, Brian.
We're excited for you to have a kiddo, my friend, and we're excited for your paternity leave. It's going to be fun. For those of you who maybe are watching for the first time or just getting caught up on the show, Brian and his wonderful wife, Jamie, are having a baby. Mm-hmm. And so we are going to be going on a small bit of a hiatus over the summer while Brian takes care and bonds with his child. But we will be releasing every week on the audio format. We will be releasing a Roll for Convo, a small special episode, just so you guys can get your fix of Chaboys. And also, we will be releasing the video version of that podcast on our Patreon, as it doesn't necessarily fit in on Previewed proper. So we're just going to be releasing that right on Patreon. Yeah. Hi, Patreon. Actually, we're not on Patreon right now. I don't know why I did that. Hi, YouTube.
Hi, YouTube. Join our Patreon. Lots of good stuff there.
Click it, idiots.
And and good things coming there soon.
Don't be a cretin.
Don't be like Brian. Don't be a cretin.
Don't be a cretin. Just post what you be tweeting. All right. Anyways, thanks for all that information about Wolverine, Brian. We love you very much.
X-Men Origins
Wolverine.
In case you haven't seen it, because
I mean, I can do plot drop for this.
Sure,
one
you should probably do plot drop.
For those of you who have not seen this movie and you maybe just hanging out or don't know why you're listening to this, but I'm glad you are. And we'll fill you in on what happened I'm gonna say it the full time every time. X-Men Origins Wolverine. Mm-hmm. We open on a young boy.
And his brother Victor. Young boy. And his father's murder.
I did not.
Young boy.
Young man, you've got claws in your hands, and then young man, you gotta go with the plan and say, Striker, don't put metal in my body, but I don't have a choice now. Bam, bam, snick, snack, snick. Because he is the Wolverine. He doesn't have to keep his claws clean.
It doesn't. I don't think he does.
'Cause the blood comes right off. Stone from a meteorite. Anyways, a young James watches his father murdered by apparently his real dad, and upon the trauma of that, realizes his mutant powers. His friend Victor is there too.
He's his brother.
His half brother, technically.
Okay.
Because he was his father's actual dad. It's a long story. But that's what we're doing right now. So why would I?
You cretin?
Yeah, I'm being a cretin. And the two of them run away from home seemingly, and eventually, what's not explained is how Victor becomes a mutant and why their powers are so similar. That's what's frustrating about it.
I honestly think they're both brothers. I don't think it's half brother. It just seems like they're brothers from the same dude.
Okay. Either or, they're brothers, and we come to know Victor as Sabretooth. He has the healing capabilities that Wolverine has also been given, but he has his claws are in his fingernails. They apparently go through time as soldiers of fortune together, which that's a sequence I actually really enjoyed.
I liked it too, yeah.
They
kept fighting on the right side of all the wars
until things go a little sideways. And
was there a right side in the Vietnam War? I don't know.
I don't think so.
But the Vietnam War is when everything goes.
The Vietnam War, the two of them get themselves arrested. Victor tries to do something
untoward,
very bad, and gets caught. And James tries to save him, and even though he probably shouldn't have. And they fight their way out, but are eventually arrested and put in prison. To which a young William Stryker comes and gets them out and recruits them. Wow, I'm having a really hard time talking right now. Recruits them to an elite squad, and then we pick back up with them being a squad of quote unquote mutants, and they are going in to try to find a meteorite that is a very specific kind of metal.
Now, did you think was that vibranium? Because it was they were going for adamantium but it was coded as vibranium.
Yeah, but I think they mean adamantium.
Because it's like, oh, they were in Africa. It was a meteorite.
I always just read it as adamantium. I didn't read too much into it because it was pretty clear that this movie didn't really have the literacy of the Marvel Universe to really pull that off. So I was just like, they're just like coding adamantium this way. They find themselves in a situation with a bunch of civilians, and things go sideways. A lot of civilians get killed trying to find the rest of this meteorite, and Logan decides to quit this squad.
Well, who's on the squad?
The squad
kind of
is
important. Yeah.
Blob, Wraith, Bolt, or Maverick, depending on who you read, who is Charlie from Lost, who does electricity.
Oh, okay.
And then as well as Deadpool.
But he's not
Wade Wilson.
It's Wade Wilson, but he has no powers.
It doesn't seem like he has powers other than swords.
He's good at swords.
He
swings swords fast.
It's not explained.
Not even close.
And Agent Zero, who is, I believe, sort of powered. I can't remember the specifics.
He shoots good.
He's tied in with Weapon X like quite a bit.
Okay.
And they are a squad that works together, and eventually Logan leaves and becomes a lumberjack and falls in love.
And he don't care.
He falls in love with a wonderful school teacher who ends up being a mutant called Silver Fox, and eventually
Silver Fox. Wow, so many references. I don't think anyone's getting.
We find out that Victor is going around and killing the old squad. He kills Maverick and basically comes to try and kill Wolverine and ends up killing Silver Fox in its stead. Stryker pops up and tries to recruit Wolverine to get back at Sabretooth and find him and stop him. And he eventually recruits himself into the Weapon X program. He is administered the adamantium skeleton and adamantium adamantium claws to his bone claws, and upon waking up, discovers that he is going to be turned into a weapon for Weapon X. They're going to wipe his mind, and so he escapes. They chase him down. He finds a lovely, nice old couple, gets his cool jacket from them, and then they are subsequently murdered.
Almost immediately.
And then Wolverine basically has to figure out where Stryker is so he can take him out. And we find that Stryker is on an island, and he gets information from Wraith that the one person that escaped from the island is a young Remy LeBeau, otherwise known as Gambit. Which I liked that setup. I like that structure.
Mm-hmm.
And we find that Blob is more blobby, and Wraith owns a boxing gym. Sure. And so he goes and finds Remy LeBeau. They have a big fight, and then they make their way they fly to the island.
Turns out the island is 3 Mile Island. Bum,
Yeah,
bum, bum.
In order to, we find out that Victor has been working with Stryker and has basically set up all of this stuff. And so in the process of trying to fight Sabretooth, he discovers that they have been kidnapping a bunch of mutant children and are keeping them there for experiments. And so Wolverine frees all of those kids, eventually defeats Sabretooth, and has to fight Wade Wilson has been turned into the Deadpool, which means he has been infused with as many mutant powers as possible, which is so stupid and not correct.
It's quite possibly one of the dumbest things any comic movie's ever done.
And it's so stupid that it any good this movie did was completely wiped out by that.
Yeah. Because Ryan Reynolds in the beginning is like, oh yeah, I kind of see Deadpool here. Knowing, from our perspective in 2024 is like, oh yeah, that kind of
tracks.
It's
that kind of
not
works.
far away from what he will eventually do in 7 years when the actual first movie comes out. It's like, oh yeah, it's pretty close.
Yeah, it's not
Oh
bad.
yeah, he actually kind of nailed this. Wow, what are they? Oh
yeah.
my God.
So Professor X comes and saves all the children that were freed, and Wolverine is shot in the head by Stryker and forgets all of his memories.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
That's pretty much it, right?
And yeah,
I don't think I missed anything.
You didn't miss anything.
Wolverine.
Yeah, I've only seen it twice. The first time I saw it, I was like, this sucks. This movie is very bad.
It's really frustrating.
It's just, it just goes around and like, oh, this scene's with this mutant, and then the next scene's with this mutant, and the next scene is with this mutant.
Yeah.
Oh, the X-Men kiddies are here. Oh boy.
And it's never fully explained who the characters actually are or what their deal is.
Nope.
Like, they don't do any development on any of the side characters really in any capacity.
Nope.
And it's made pretty clear that, I mean, Wolverine is fleshed out pretty decently, actually. But it's pretty clear that either they didn't think they didn't think we cared about all of the other characters enough.
I guess.
But they also did their homework at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's it was weirdly frustrating.
Yes, because these are characters from the Marvel Universe that do have relationship with Wolverine. They're here,
sure,
but they're not utilized well or given the deference or any time.
I have to be honest. After I watched this movie, I kind of liked this movie.
Oh,
There's
okay.
a lot. I think the structure of this movie. This is the first time in a while that I didn't hate the overall structure of the movie.
Oh, sure.
It's pretty sound. It has decent bones. It's just kind of all the details in between.
You just got to cover those bones with adamantium and make it cool.
It also, the fight scenes in this movie are dope. Wolverine and Sabretooth fighting is awesome. Sabretooth is sufficiently very scary.
Yeah, Liev Schreiber does an amazing job in this movie.
And I like setting them up as brothers, literally and figuratively.
Mm-hmm.
I bought that relationship. The fact that they never tried to they didn't try to continue on with a Liev Schreiber Sabretooth thing kind of bothers me. And also the Sabretooth that we get in
X-Men.
The original X-Men is a totally different thing. It's you're setting this up as an origin story, but you're giving us characters in a way, but you're setting up a different timeline.
Yeah.
It doesn't really make a ton of sense.
No, it doesn't at all.
They're arguing semantics at this point, but don't call it origins then if it's a different storyline.
Well, I mean the Sabretooth that was in the X trilogy didn't have many lines. He just kind of grunted.
He was a suit.
Yeah.
It was a
and
cool,
and eyebrows. He's very long eyebrows.
There are certain aspects of this movie that I found myself having a good time. It was just very clear that I was and I wrote in my notes. I literally just at one point wrote, just make this better.
Yeah.
Like, and I know, and that's an oversimplification by like so many means, but it's just like really what I like. It was a visceral gut response, and I was just like, guys, like this isn't this. This is bad, but I can tell from the characters that you included that you knew what you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you do it like this?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah, it's not. I remembered it like it was one of the worst films we've ever seen. When I rewatched it, I was like, this is not as bad as I remember.
Yeah.
It's not anywhere. It's not
we
good.
We watched a lot of worse things for this show.
We really have. This was not as bad as I remember. It's still not very good, and everyone still didn't get enough time, and everyone's powers were basically wrong, which really kind of that Gambit scene. And hey, I forget the actor's name, but he's gone on to do other things. He did a pretty good job with Gambit, but his power was wrong.
Yeah,
like he threw a card. He threw one card. He threw one or two cards.
No, he did the big flourish.
That's not
shot
what he does. He has to charge them individually, and then he throws them.
Yeah.
It's lame. They just like, oh, we can make this with cool CG. The CG did not hold up, by the way, in this movie.
Not a lot of it, no. I will say it does have one of the best walking away from explosions scenes in any movie.
Yes, it does, yeah.
I was like, yo, look at him go.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
look at him walk away from that explosion.
Look at him go.
He's the coolest guy.
Yeah, man. And we got to see his butt in this movie. Isn't that fun?
Oh, we did get to see his butt.
Yeah, man.
Well, and the scene
it's got something for everybody.
When he pops out of the water.
Yeah.
That is like one of the most iconic shots in all of the X films.
Yes.
Or the Fox X
It
films.
was pretty dope.
And that it is a good
I would
shot.
say across comic book movies writ large, it's one of the most iconic shots.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's incredible. And like
unfortunately, it's in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. And I actually appreciate that they continued to make Wolverine movies because this one had showed a lot of promise and showed that it could work if you actually did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Wolverine, when he goes to Japan, that kicks, man.
It's awesome. Well, it's also kind of a sequel to X3.
Yeah, the movie's real good.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot. Silver Samurai, it's dope. It's
Yeah.
real good. And Logan, I mean, that's
Of course.
that doesn't even that's just cinema. That's not a comic book movie.
Yeah. This movie, man.
Yeah. It tried to make Gambit work. It was also the whole time Gambit was on screen, it made me it transported me back to seeing it for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
When you can just like viscerally feel the movie go, we put Gambit in this one.
The one you've
That's
always
the
wanted.
One you've wanted
the whole time.
We gave you guys Gambit. Aren't we cool? Aren't we cool? Like this movie with giving us cool stuff was like a stepdad trying to buy your affection.
Watch out for the claw. The claw's gonna get you, Jay. You love the claw, right?
Yeah.
Here it comes.
It just was like yeah.
You like Gambit, right? Cool. He's only going to throw a few cards and then jump around with his cane, which is, I mean, it was kind of interesting, but it was shot wrong.
I mean, you know
how
how I feel about Gambit, like across the board. The only Gambit that actually works is 92. Or 97, whatever it is.
The animated
Gambit.
Gambit.
Animated Gambit is the only one that makes any sense because he has to wear his little outfit. But if you put that little outfit on a normal human being, they look like the biggest dork you've ever seen.
When Matthew Mercer dressed up, when they all dressed as X-Men characters for one of their Halloween episodes, I was like, oh, Matthew Mercer looks like a lot. Yeah, he looks just like him. He sounds just like him too.
He looks stupid.
But yes. But the next thought is like, he doesn't look that great.
No criticism, Matt. You looked great. But
not at all.
That outfit on a normal human being.
In IRL,
it's the face thing.
It's the face thing.
Because what is it?
Why? Who wears that? Doesn't work in reality.
But the buck wild thing about it is in this movie, he's not wearing it. And I go, he's not wearing the thing. This is not Gambit. He's just wearing he's just wearing jeans and a shirt and a little coat. That's not Gambit. And I'm like, it's so messed up.
Some things work on the page, and some things don't work in front of the camera. And that whatever, I don't know. Do you guys know what because a lot of happened in Image and Rob Liefeld and like Wildcats and like all sorts of that.
Oh,
they had a lot of that face.
The 90s comics with the headgear, they went nuts. They went absolutely buck wild.
Hair out. But like,
because it also frames a face and it's easier to draw.
I think, it's just a face frame. That's like, Well, Sam's first Captain Cap suit in Winter Falcon,
Mm-hmm.
in his white suit, has that,
Yes.
and is a face frame, and it's like,
and it looks kind of bad.
it doesn't. It doesn't look right.
It doesn't look right.
It doesn't look right.
It just doesn't look right.
No.
I like cognitively get behind it with the Sam suit because I understand it's probably for flying.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
there's like it seems like there's a function to it.
Mm-hmm.
But Gambit's just be walking around being like, "Oh, like eating a po' boy," being like,
Sipping a hurricane, walking
"Yeah,
down
man.
Bourbon Street.
Yeah, absolutely."
Yeah.
But like when I think about this movie, the one thing that really worked and the one thing that I think, because like we've been chit-chatting about this movie obviously because we watched it, and I think the heart of this movie is strong, and I think that's why it was worth making more Wolverine, because like the heart of it was strong. And for me, the stuff between Sabretooth and Wolverine and like them both being immortal and them kind of being two sides of the same coin is great, and I like that a lot. I just don't know if you necessarily need. I think when it comes to an X-Men property, everyone gets so bogged down with the concept of a team that they have so many characters that they want to give you more.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like if you pared this movie down,
Oh yeah, a lot. Yeah.
this movie kind of hums, because at the end of the day, Wolverine has a cool origin story,
He does.
and from a comic book perspective, a pretty unique one.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like, I guess that's what frustrated me the most, is that I was like, you know, I am tired of seeing superhero origin stories in movies,
Yes.
but this is one character that I would actually like to see.
Well, most of the mutants' origin stories are just like, oh, I hit puberty. I sound all weird. My skin's all clammy, and I don't know what I'm doing with my body.
And
oh,
these
no!
tentacles killed my dad.
Yeah.
They came
Yeah.
out my butt, and I accidentally, butt tentacled my dad to death.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
thanks God that Charles Xavier showed up, and I'm going to go to his
Now
school.
I got a full scholarship to college or to high school because I accidentally butt murdered my dad.
Mm-hmm. Thanks,
Yeah.
Charles Xavier.
Yeah,
Thanks,
man.
Professor X. Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of, puberty was rough, and now I can shape change, or now I look like a pterodactyl, or I can summon psychic armor around me. Like, it's all kind of, yeah. He actually has, like, this is my power, but that's only the beginning.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to use my power for all sorts of stuff, and then maybe metal, like, oh my God. So, yeah, it's...
It's one of the few stories where it's like the augmenting of the power is the interesting thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't. And in a world with X-Men, when the power could have just been, oh, my bones are metal and I got claws.
Yeah,
All right.
it could have been. Yeah.
Yeah, but they made it. They
Well,
just
do you
took it
remember-
that far?
I don't think that was known until Fatal Attraction. Until Magneto ripped the
Yes.
metal off his bones, that he actually had bone claws. I
That may have been a retcon, but yeah,
I came into the comics in the 90s. The animated
That's-
version
yeah.
was the reason I got into stuff.
for sure.
But I was under the impression that when Wolverine got the metal ripped off his body, that when the bone claws came out, that was a revelation of, oh, he had claws the entire time.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was just part. I thought it was just
It's
like,
a
oh,
fun
that was part
subversion of
of the
expectations,
the
yeah.
augmentation that he got.
Yeah.
That he got those claws. So, yeah, that was pretty cool. So seeing them here as actually the origin was neat.
And it's also a character that if you are going to in like Days of Future Past refer to his past a lot, this is a character that warrants a prequel of their origin story.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh, cool, this guy's gonna live through most of time.
Yeah.
So, well, let's
He fought
see all that
he
other
fought
stuff.
with Cap
He sure did.
in World War II.
He sure did. God, that would have been cool. That would have been cool to see. Stupid Fox doing stupid Fox stuff.
Well,
Can you imagine if the Howling Commando
imagine if
showed up and it was
Imagine if we started from scratch with everything. Now that we have everything, and just start from scratch, it may happen, Jay. Who knows?
I
It may happen.
I'm
In
simultaneously
another 15 years or so.
I'm
knows?
simultaneously excited and horrified by that conceptually. It's like they're redoing it's like they're making the Harry Potter show.
Yeah.
Don't make the Harry
Don't
Potter
make
show.
the Harry Potter show.
Don't
We've
make the Harry
already
Potter
seen it.
show.
We've read it and we've
Guys,
seen it.
the
We've
Harry
read it-
Potter
we've read it and we've
movies.
seen it.
The Harry Potter movies may be the best.
They made $10 billion, man. You did it. You nailed it. You're good. You
Stop
don't
it.
need to do it.
Or just pull a George Lucas, give Rowling $4 billion for Harry Potter, and just put her on the ice floe and send her out. Be like, let's keep making other stuff.
And then you just make the horror show everybody damn well wants and make it modern. Just make a modern wizarding, I was called the Wizarding World show of horrors in modern day America.
Yeah.
Because that's what we want.
Yep.
And don't make the Congress of Magic stupid and lame. Make it cool, because America's cool, and we'd have cool wizards doing rad cool stuff, solving crimes. And
America. American magic.
America.
Woo!
Magical Wizarding
Hooty
America. Hooty hoo indeed, Jay.
Hooty hoo indeed.
We should fix this film.
We should fix this film. We should fix this movie.
Okay. So I think now this movie still has to be in continuity with the original X trilogy. So this has to be Wolverine still has to we need to get him to be where we see him in the first X-Men film.
Yes.
No memories, just in Canada. Or it doesn't even, just no memories. He just, at this point, at the end, he just needs no memories.
Yes.
Was the bullet in his head in the first movie? I feel like it was.
I don't remember.
But I don't know. Who cares?
I don't think so.
I don't think
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
The bullet doesn't even have to go into his head. It can just like knock him out and he give him amnesia.
He just needs to have amnesia. He just needs to know. You just need to know his past.
Yeah, he just got brain trauma and his brain grew back without the memories.
Sure,
that's fine.
Yeah.
But like, I think if I'm recalling correctly, like our talking about it, I think the main thing that you want to have happen in this fix is you want the end to be him going to Weapon X.
I think that's a more appropriate ending.
Okay, I mean I would agree because you set yourself up for a sequel.
Sure.
Like,
well, remember? What was it? Which First Class movie was it? But there was an was it Apocalypse? Where the kids actually fall into Weapon X and they free Logan, and it's actually comic accurate Weapon X.
I want to say that's
because Sansa opens it up, and he sees Jean for the first time, and he's like, "Whoa, okay, well, we're gonna run into you later in 10 years or whatever." But like, he's got the helmet on, and he's just he's got the tubes sticking off him, whatever, and he like murders a bunch of dudes, and then runs out into the woods and he helps the kids get out. But it's like, yo, that was the actual scene from the comics.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, that was really cool. Like I feel like that's a much better ending to this film, because that's the origin everybody knows, and not just like, oh, he wants to fight his brother, so he.
That's interesting. I will say it's in maybe. I think maybe there's a way to split the difference here.
Sure.
Because I think him going through Weapon X is a large part of. I think him going through the treatment is a large part of like the actual origin story. So if we're calling it an origin story, I think maybe that's like the end of Act 2 kind of thing.
He goes through at the end. He goes through Weapon X at the end of Act 2.
I feel like we could set up a situation where maybe we could very easily set up a team. Where he's working with Weapon X or something to that effect, and it starts and feels a lot more optimistic, and then we get a turn that like when we all like Wolverine realizes too late that this is all about like the experimentation of stuff. Like there could be some kind of betrayal to that effect.
That's what I was thinking. Like,
okay.
I think the end is the fight in Act 3, or the culmination of the movie. It's been building towards that he actually does fight for something. We can figure out what that something is. But maybe it's like a Silver Fox or something like that, like trying to free her or get her out of the program. And he's successful in his goal, but at the cost of himself.
Sure.
He is now left behind. He sacrificed himself to stay in the program, or like he jumped back on the grenade or whatever so she could get out, but the guys captured him and threw him in the tubes, and then he got experimented on, stuff like that.
How do we include Sabretooth in this then?
Well, I think the beginning of this movie is really good. We start in the past, and we don't know where in the past this is, but we know it's pre-Civil War. And then I think that the opening shot of them fighting through all these things we know about is really cool. because it shows
Okay.
them like fighting and doing stuff and like and it's a decent way of showing the separation in the characters of like Logan was still try I with great power comes great responsibility. With these bone claws, I can help stuff and I don't die, so like I can help America do stuff and go team.
Yeah.
And like his brother's there because like he just likes killing people. Thanks God he's just killing people for our team until he goes too far.
Yes.
And it's like, no, it's like, you know what? We've been doing this for over 100 years. I just like killing people, man. Isn't this fun? Isn't this fun? I can just shred everybody, and they can't stop me. That's great. But, so
Okay.
I think the starting part's great.
The starting point is great. Here's where it diverges.
Sure.
Maybe it comes down to Sabretooth does something bad. He gets himself put in jail. Wolverine does not.
Mm-hmm.
And Sabretooth is approached and taken away by the Weapon X program.
Ooh, okay.
And so we kind of like enter in this movie with Wolverine trying to find what happened to his brother.
Ooh, I like that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Oh, I like that.
Yeah. And so maybe like Wolverine usually always works alone.
Yeah.
But we see him like slowly trying to figure out like who Stryker is and what Weapon X is,
Mhm.
and is, slowly picking up a little bit of his own little makeshift X-Men along the way.
Sure, because he has like some army buddies and stuff like that he can like call back on and like, hey, who is this guy? I'm trying to find my brother, blah 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 blah. And we could see how Sabretooth is handling the cut to Sabretooth in Weapon X.
Yes.
And he's like, oh, this is great. I actually love this. This is fantastic. More of this, please. This is what I've been wanting the entire time.
Yeah. But I think
Because then, if Logan,
sorry, I'm just getting lost in the sauce.
If Logan's goal is to free his brother because
Yes.
he's pure of heart and trying to do the
Mhm.
right thing, not knowing, or maybe doesn't want to believe the worst in his brother,
Sure.
because he saw snippets of it in what he did in Vietnam, and I was like, hey, stop that, and he stopped him from doing the bad thing, but it's still like he put him in jail and stuff like that. He doesn't think the worst of him, and he's still trying to free him, not knowing that. No, he's where he wants to be right now. This is great for him. So, like, Stryker could be sending agents of Weapon X to stop Logan or to try to capture Logan.
Yes.
And Logan just keeps, beating them and learning more about where this, where Weapon X is.
Yeah.
So, like, Agent Zero can come out. We could have, if we wanted to, we could have Wade come out.
Well, I think I like the idea of. I mean, you could set up Deadpool in an actually like a legitimate way, and that like he is another mercenary that that Wolverine has met along the way that isn't necessarily a mutant.
Yeah,
but he's just a really good mercenary.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I think you can have Wolverine like create a squad that isn't necessarily like completely mutant based.
Sure.
Wow, sorry, I'm just like really thinking.
You're cooking
about
a little
this.
bit, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm cooking a little bit over
Mhm.
here. Yeah, literally and figuratively. It's very hot in the studio.
It's getting warm.
Yeah, I think there's like I want there to be the kind of maybe this sounds crazy. I think we have an opportunity because we have a Wolverine that has lost their memory. I think we have the opportunity to maybe bring in Charles or Hank or like somebody from
The school?
the school. Like or some like before the school is even started.
Right, yeah.
Because like they're aware of him, like, in the First Class movies and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think we have an opportunity to, like, include, like, some OG X-Men that, like, maybe it's even a young Charles. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, to just because like the way that they like shoehorned in a lot of the other mutants felt like really.
You mean these guys, the team?
No, I'm talking about like Cyclops.
Yeah, that was bad. As soon as that happened, they started talking about like the younger mutants getting kidnapped when like in the around about an hour. I was like, oh, now the movie's kind of taking a turn of like, oh, now we just want to. Now we have a scene with him capturing Cyclops. Then we got to see all these other kids. It's like, oh, and Emma Frost is like, okay, now we're just wasting time on other characters that aren't really part of the... Okay. That's blah. Just blah.
Okay, so how do we get Wolverine to Weapon X?
I think he follows some contacts from his army days and stuff like that, and we can drop Marvel characters in there.
Yes.
Right along the way as he learns some stuff. Stryker notices that he's sniffing around, or trying to find him, and Stryker's like, "Oh, well, he would be great. We should get him too," and he starts sending out his agents to either try to capture him.
Yes,
but Logan's just like, "Where's my brother?"
Yeah,
and I think he can like tell that they're after him, and he's like, "No, I'm coming to get my brother back."
Yes.
And so he's working his way through Stryker's goons.
Mm-hmm. We can throw in more mutants that way.
Yeah.
Here's where I think we get a little weird.
Okay.
Or it's kind of similar to the way the movie did it, but we can make it a little different. I think like towards like middle of Act 2, I think we are Wolverine and his merry band.
Couple of friends, yeah.
Find Weapon X, and it's been torn to shreds.
Ooh.
There's people have been murdered everywhere. Clearly something's wrong. The place is abandoned, and they find a bleeding out William Stryker in his office, and Wolverine's like, "What happened here?" And he's like, "Your brother Your brother did not take well to a lot of the work we did on him. Like, it was working out, but he has completely lost his mind, and he needs to be put down."
Oh, okay.
And he's like, and it's like, I don't know if I can kill my brother. And he's like, I mean, somebody's going to have to. Or someone, if you can talk to him, sure, but you might need to kill him. Like, and he's killed a lot of innocent people. So, like, somebody's got to do something about it. And Wolverine's like, okay, like, but if he can do this, like, I don't know if he's like, yeah, this is not going to be similar to like what happened in the movie. Like, if you're going to go after him, like I can assist you. It'll be the most pain you've ever been in your life, but like, it will make you a stronger being. And, so he goes through at the end of this act. He like makes the sacrifice, goes through this thinking that he's going to be able to like, pacify his brother. He's like, "I'm doing this for you, Victor." And then it comes to find out, that both similar to what happened in the movie, in that like Victor's actually fine. Yeah. They just staged this entire thing in order to get him to do it. Okay. And do it willingly. But what's different is, Stryker was working with Sabretooth, but they're both trying to double cross each other.
Sure, that makes sense.
And so like Stryker is thinking that he's going to get 2 super soldiers out of this, and Sabretooth is just being like, well, me and my brother are going to be invincible now, and like, we'll just kill Stryker and then we'll dip. And so and Wolverine's like, hey, you killed a lot of people, like, you got to stop fighting. He's like, fighting's all we do now, man. Like, I think we live in a world in which Sabretooth is pretty much just got the exact same situation going on as... Because in the movie, he was like, you need to give me the adamantium. Yeah. But I think he's got it, too.
I always thought in the comics that he had adamantium.
He also has it. They're in the same program. Yeah. Like, they're one and the same. Like, Sabretooth is just evil Wolverine. Yeah.
I think that's the end. I think this is a very Star Warsian moment of Logan goes to try to save his brother, and his goal through the fight doing the program or whatever is, I'm trying to save you, and he's like, I don't need saving, and the fight is Logan trying to reach his brother that he's been with for over 100 years, the kid we ran away from after I stabbed that weird man who said he was my dad. We've been on the run for so long. Where is my brother? And I was like, I've been here the entire time. I'm finally free.
Yeah.
And I think Logan allowed, in his attempt to free Sabretooth free Victor from the X program.
From being the Sabretooth.
Yeah. He's like, I don't want to be free. I'm happy with what I can they can like be fighting in the facility and stuff like that. And there's a whole big hole opens up or whatever. And it's like, no, I'm perfect the way I am.
I don't need to fight with Deadpool. I'd much rather have like an ideological like conversation while fighting.
Yeah,
while Sabretooth
that's actually
fighting.
kind of dramatic about trying to save his brother and his brother refusing.
Yeah,
and then knocks him out.
We made a decision to use her, and I think this could be something you could build up to like through the first scene of the movie and then them going back and forth.
Maybe there's a little bit more in the intro of them like discussing like, oh, the Civil War is breaking out, or World War I or something like that. That's a little bit more
maybe there's something in
like,
the origin story we can, or like the very beginning that we can add into to be like, hey, like we always promised we were going to use our powers to help people. Like we've been given this gift to help people. Like we're gonna live for a long time, so like we have to make sure that we're taking care of the people that aren't gonna live for a long time. Like, and maybe
we always see that's it's Logan is the one that, or James, that is the one that's kind of like pushing that.
Yes.
And Sabretooth's like, sure, yeah, I know, yeah, of course, yeah. But like you can tell like
yes,
he
and
just likes to scrap.
I think
he's
the
a scrapper.
Point, he's like, I think one of his like big points is that like if I'm going to live forever, I need to at least have some kind of life. He's like, we've been helping all these people and fighting all these wars, but it's just been exhausting. He's like, I'm fighting for me now. Like it's time. Like we've been fighting other people's wars and helping other people for hundreds of years. It's my time now.
Yeah.
Like let's roll.
These sweet adamantium claws I got. Come on, man.
I'll work with Stryker for as long as it serves me, and then I'm out.
Yeah. And then that's what the battle is. At the battle is like, oh, okay, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm peace. And and Logan and James loses. He frees his brother, but it's not his brother that leaves. It's Sabretooth.
Yes.
And he's captured, and they throw him in the tube with the headgear on.
Yes. To
be found later or escape on his own.
Yeah. It's like not a happy ending.
It's not a happy ending.
Yeah, because Wolverine has learned a lot of and that's where it can be implied that he lost his memories because he's been in that tube for so long.
Yep.
Yeah, that's completely fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a dope movie.
Yeah. It's about brothers.
It's
a movie about brothers.
It's about the brotherhood.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing at the end of the actual movie when when Wolverine and Sabretooth fight. They fight and then Wolverine wins. Like, yeah, and then Deadpool shows up. I was like, okay, this kind of sucks.
Yeah,
and then
sucks. And he's got katanas in his arms for no reason. How does he bend his arms? How that work?
Exactly.
How that work?
But Sabretooth shows up to help him. I was like, hey, that wasn't earned.
Nope.
Not even close. That wasn't earned at all.
But if you earn it.
But if you earned it, sure. But they didn't. Take all that stuff out. All the X-Men kids, all that stuff out. It's just Logan trying to save his brother from the Weapon X program when it turns out his brother's been gone the entire time. And Sabretooth leaves the thing and leaves Wolverine because he's fighting for himself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done. I'm done fighting other people's wars. I don't want to be a hero. That was always your thing, and I was just there to back you up. And now I
feel like Sabretooth starts this movie as like a bad guy for the most part. I know they fight all those wars and stuff, but like he's the one that makes the choice that lands them in jail. I almost throughout this movie want to see him realize that he doesn't have to
keep making. Oh yeah, he keeps making the wrong choice, or he kind of kept always stepping over the line, and James was always there pulling him back.
Yeah,
and then now we're finally like, no,
yeah,
I'm done. I just want to do my thing.
I almost think you could expand the montage of them fighting throughout history and give us some scenes. I almost think the first act could be a lot of those scenes.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we can get there. Yeah. Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. Have brothers through time doing stuff. One's has working with his better angels. The other one's just like, but like killing Nazis is lots of fun, man.
Yeah.
These killing these Ottomans, or Germans, or whatever they were called in the first World War. Yeah, that's kind of fun too. And they could be, have that conversation of we can see who they are before we get to Vietnam, and then where the schism happens.
Yeah, I just think it like Sabretooth being like, that's the thing about living forever is that like the past like keeps getting bigger, like
yeah.
He's like, there's like, what about all this past? It's like, yeah, the past. We're gonna have more of that. We're always gonna have more past. But what's our future look like? I think it's here. Like that's oof. Yeah, man. Yeah. Them having like a really dramatic scene while they're dressed up as Union soldiers, and then like, oh, so good, so good.
Yeah, we just X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. So the second act is just him trying to find him.
Yeah,
working with some other mutants, fighting through other mutants.
Hell, you can even have it be Gambit. That's fine.
Sure. He's got information on where the program
out
is.
What to do with his headdress, and you're fine.
Yeah,
it's a headdress. That hat. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, but Act 3 is just Logan in Weapon X trying to save, trying to free his brother, and it turns out he's exactly where he wants to be.
Well, yeah, and that's the big. He thinks that Sabretooth has been brainwashed, but he hasn't.
He hasn't.
We don't brainwash here. What? Oh yeah, he made all these choices.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
He's the best at what he does. And then Wolverine can say something like,
"Yeah, man,
you haven't met me yet," and then proves that he's the best at what he does.
Yeah.
Bub.
You just called me the Blob.
No, I said Bub.
That was terrible.
Yes, it was.
That was not.
No.
That was so forced.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you didn't explain what the Blob's powers are.
Nope. They didn't explain anyone's powers.
No, and it frustrated me.
Yeah.
When you're going to introduce that many people with powers, you kind of need to like do a little bit, I don't know.
Just a little bit. Hey, this guy teleports. This guy swings swords good. Charlie knows it's not Penny's boat and also can manipulate electronics.
Yeah, he's an electrokinetic.
Which would be cool. Just a dossier of like, hey, here's your team. Just run through.
Just Suicide Squad it, please.
Who are these people that I'm with?
You got to Suicide Squad it. I want to know.
And we got the Stab Brothers over here.
Yeah,
we're gonna be great.
Yeah, stabby and extra stabby. Well, I think we did it, man.
Yeah, man.
I think we did it. Whew.
Logan Wolverine would be great, and then that's really in line with the Wolverine.
Yes, it is.
Because the Wolverine is also like. He misses Jean. Like the fact that they had Famke Janssen do some voiceover for that movie is like, oh wow, they're trying for this.
Yeah.
Because I was expecting this movie again.
Yeah.
But no, they were like, no, we're trying. This is going to be a big deal. Yeah.
That movie. I really
wow.
like that movie a lot.
Yeah. It was great.
Whew. Well, that's been Wolverine, you guys.
We did it.
We nailed it. Just make it about brothers. It's not that hard.
It's not that hard.
And also, And also, but you know what? The one thing I will say at the end of the day, the one thing this movie gave us is that whether or not it turned out, and whether or not what may have been one of the worst things in any comic book ever, it did light a fire under Ryan Reynolds' butt to make Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
He liked being Deadpool and wanted to be Deadpool more in a way that was good. And now we have some of this movie led to some of the best comic book movies ever made.
Yep.
So for that, we thank you.
Good job.
Wolverine, or not the Wolverine. X-Men Origins Wolverine. Like we said earlier, we're going to be going on a little bit of a hiatus from the normal fixes. We'll be back in the fall. We have some really fun, exciting things we are workshopping. We might be changing the format of the show
just a little bit.
Just tweaking things, making the show a little bit more appealing to a wider audience. We're really excited to share that with you guys, but we're gonna keep a little.
We gotta get back in the kitchen. We gotta cook a little bit more.
Yeah, we gotta actually, we're gonna do an episode of Fix It where we fix it. It's actually not a terrible idea. Anyways.
And also, for all of you who were leaving comments in the Acolyte videos of like, boy, I can't wait for these guys for this episode of Fix It. Thank you. There was a lot of comments of like, I can't wait for the Fix It episode of
Yeah.
you guys fixing Acolyte. I was like, that felt really good.
They were nice comments,
Yeah.
and we needed them because some of the comments were not so nice. But also, we're glad that you guys this show is kind of getting to the wider previewed audience. We're really excited about that. It's a good sign. It's a very good sign. But you know what to do if you're watching this on YouTube. Like, subscribe, hit that bell, do that YouTube that you do so well. And if you're catching this wherever you catch your audio podcasts, you know what to do as well. Leave us 5 stars. Maybe write us a review. I like reading them. They say they help. I'm not sure they do, but who's to say? And as we end every single one of these episodes, heartbreak feels good in a place like this.
It's the mutant with the sewn mouth shut with giant katanas that somehow fit in his arms but are longer than his arms but then come out of his hands.
How he fold his arm.
How he fold arm.
That you don't see coming.
Sneak. That you don't see coming.
I hate you so much. This has been Rug Talk. We'll see you in the fall, idiots.
Bye.
Bye.